Vulnerabilities 101 in TryHackme. So this is just a room that basically explains what vulnerabilities is, and I'm going to walk you through it today. So we'll just read this. I think you can do that. And we'll click correct answer. They're just the objectives of the room. Right, so let's take a look at the introduction to vulnerabilities. And if you can have a quick read through this, we'll see what we can do down here. Alright, so assuming you've read through all this information here, let's take a look. An attacker has been able to upgrade the permissions of their system account from user to administrator. What type of vulnerability is this? Well, let's take a look through these for starters. Operating system. These types of vulnerabilities are found within the OS and result in privilege escalation. I think the key word here you should be looking at is privilege escalation, because their system account from user to administrator means that they're on the operating system, which is a form of privilege escalation. So the answer to this is simply the first answer, operating system. Alright, you managed to bypass a login panel using cookies to authenticate. What type of vulnerability is this? Cookies to authenticate, right? So it's not operating system, because obviously this sounds like a web app to me. Configuration based. These types of vulnerabilities stem from an incorrectly configured application or service. For example, a website exposing customer details. This doesn't sound like bypassing. Weak or default credentials. Again, that's a different vulnerability. Application logic. These vulnerabilities are a result of poorly designed applications. This sounds more like it, because it is a result of a poorly designed application if you can just bypass it. So we're going to try application logic here. Right, so that was easy. And again, I hope you've read through this and understood what it all means. Right, so now on to some deeper stuff. Vulnerability scoring, CVSS and VPR. Again, please read through this. There's quite a bit here, but pause the video and then get back here when you get to these. So what year was the first iteration of CVSS published? We'll do a bit of research. I've gone on to Firefox, which I like using, and I'm going to search. It's always good to use the internet in these ones. So as you can see, this is the AI overview, but it's generally pretty good. It says it was first published in 2005. So let's just answer that quickly. Okay. If you wanted to assess a vulnerability based on the risk it poses to an organization, what framework would you use? Well, if we take a look at this, we've got advantages of CVSS and advantages of VPR. Let's have a look. Has been around for a long time, popular in organizations, free framework. Those all sound pretty good. Modern framework considers over 150 factors, risk-driven, scorings are not final, and very dynamic. Okay, well, they're both good, but this one does sound better because it's a modern framework, considers over 150 factors when calculating risk, and again, it's dynamic. So we'll just plug that into here. And if you wanted to use a framework that was free and open source, what framework would that be? Well, this one, as you can see, is not open source like some. So unfortunately, that one, in that aspect, isn't as good as CVSS. Right, so that's those complete. Let's take a little look at vulnerability databases. Right, so again, please read all this, because if I read through this, it would take ages. And this is where it gets interesting. You use this in CTFs all the time. Vulnerabilities are found on ExploitDB. I'm personally a very big fan of this. Right, so using NVD, how many CVEs were published in July 2021? Right, so we're on NVD here. This one is a bit of a weird one, but as you can see, I'm going to apply it. And this says 1579, but I know for a fact that it isn't. Now that's how you filter it. So if you can use these to filter it, and that's what I hope this is teaching you. But again, that's not the answer. For some reason, this is the answer. And this one is a less subjective question. Who is the author of ExploitDB? this one will be offset. So as you can see, I've navigated to exploit database and we've got offset here. So we'll just pin that into the answer. Right, let's move on. An example of finding a vulnerability. So again, read through all this because this is important. This is touching onto web app CTFs as we're often finding vulnerabilities. If you want to see some web app CTFs, please check out my other videos. And do remember to subscribe if this has helped you and give this a like. Okay, what type of vulnerability did we use to find the name and version of the application in this example? Well, let's take a look at what this is, Apache Tomcat 9.0.17. We'll just go on there quickly. Exploit DB. As you can see, there is no specific exploit for this one. It's not a great example. If you ask me, they should have chosen one with a specific exploit. But again, it still proves the point. I mean, none of these would be valid on 9.0.17 because they're all older exploits which have probably just been patched. So anyway, what type of application did we use to find the name and version of this? Well, the type this is called version disclosure. It can also be called information disclosure. It's just when the server leaks information like this. Tools like WhatWeb curl can extract this. We can also extract it with Burp Suite, but here we just have version disclosure. And finally, we're on to the more exciting stuff. It's your first week on the job as a junior penetration tester at the pentesting CEO. For your first engagement, you are shadowing senior penetration tester within the company. Deploy the site. So let's give this a little go. What do we need to do? Follow the steps to exploit a vulnerability against Acme IT services infrastructure. Complete the engagement. Okay, so let's take a little look. Just read through this. Alright. Next. Information gathering. At this stage, the senior penetration tester has used a public service that compiles some details about the target company. Read through this. Companies report. Okay. Well, as you can see, we've got an email here. That's useful. So when you're doing manual enumeration, I'm just going to talk you through this, just to give you the general how to do it. Please always read through information like this. It may seem tedious at the time, but it will come in very handy if you get a login form or something like that. So let's move on. Okay, try scanning this yourself. This isn't how you typically do a map. You'd actually type it in yourself, but as you can see, it's a good example. It's running a map. I'll pause it here. Oh no, it's done. 22.80.443. So we've got an HTTP server and an HTTPS, one of which is secure, one of which isn't. They're probably hosting the same site, but I don't know yet. Using the information gathered. Guesses some random password such as admin to no avail. They notice a version number of the application 1.5.2. We're taking note of this. And so Acme portal 1.5.2. Well, again, this can be used to find an exploit. Here we go, vulnerability bank. Okay, we're gonna just me showing you how you should do it, because you'd typically be using Firefox. See, exploit complete, launching shelf. So this is a very basic room, just giving you a very basic run through of how we do vulnerabilities. But again, I will be making a much better video on this about how I would walk through a vulnerability, probably a personal walkthrough, and check out some of my other walkthroughs if you're keen to see how this works. We've got some real tools running. So we've completed the room. I hope this has helped, and if this video has helped you, please remember to like and subscribe. Thank you.